κάποιους, όλος ο κόσμος είναι μία σκηνή. Θέλουν να τους θαυμάζουν, να τους θέλουν, να τους αγαπούν, να είναι διάσημοι. Είναι όμως έτοιμοι να κάνουν τα πάντα για το πάθος τους.
Lola Montez es un personaje único. También es cierto que estamos hablando de una de las primeras celebrities de la historia.
Η τέχνη της αποπλάνησης και της εξαπάτησης μπορεί να τρελάνει ένα φαινομενικά καλά εδραιωμένο κόσμο.
She was a very seductive woman.
Αυτή είναι η ιστορία μιας αγινευτικής γυναίκας που παγίδευε τους άνδρες και τους μάγευε με τη γοητεία της. Μια γυναίκα που ταξίδεψε στον κόσμο και ήθελε να βιώσει όλα όσα είχε να προσφέρει η ζωή. Μια από τις πιο εντυπωσιακές γυναίκες της εποχής της.
She brought a king to abdicate. That was what made her a key historical figure.
Πήρε τον έλεγχο της ζωής της για να γίνει αυτή που ήθελε η ίδια να γίνει.
Mary! Are you interested in me?
No, not me personally. The Broadway Theater wants me to write a play about you, but unfortunately, not everything is in here. To be quite honest, most of it, I have to admit after reading it, is fabricated rubbish that any dancer from Europe could have fantasized about. I think your profession is somehow different. Am I right?
You're absolutely right. There are countless young women out there who can dance, but I'm unique.
You're unique. Your dubious reputation is.
She's interesting because she's a study in what a woman could accomplish in the mid-19th century, despite all the social restrictions.
Do you have a light?
You can't smoke here. It's forbidden in the theater.
Watch this. I'm smoking.
Lola never let herself be restricted by the expectations of her society. As a matter of fact, she specialized in outraging the society in which she lived a good part of the time. And I think she enjoyed that.
May I? So, what do you want to know?
Okay, let's start with your lovers. Or with your first husband, if you'd like.
There isn't much to say.
But in your memoirs, you describe in detail how you chose to elope with a lieutenant rather than marry that rich old man your mother had found for you.
Yo creo que la relación con su madre marca totalmente el carácter y la personalidad de la futura Lola Montez, incluso de su relación con los hombres. Estamos hablando de una niña que con 2 años de edad abandona su Irlanda natal y viaja con su madre, de la mano de su madre y de su padre, que es un oficial de la compañía británica de las Indias, viaja a Calcuta. Su padre, al poco tiempo de llegar, muere víctima de las fiebres. La madre se vuelve a casar y la madre lo único que le interesa en ese momento es la vida social y Lola se convierte en un estorbo.
She was growing up in India, and her story is that she was allowed to grow up more or less like a wild animal, that she had an Indian nursemaid who took care of her, but that she was more or less neglected by her mother.
Su madre se desentiende de ella y no olvidemos que con 5 años su madre la manda a un internado a Bath, donde pasarán 11 años sin que se vean.
If you were 16, would you choose a 60-year-old? My mother cared about money, not my happiness. I was naive enough to think I could save myself from one husband by having another.
She didn't see her mother again until she was almost 16 years old. Well, Lola, throughout her life, disliked her mother. She had a very difficult relationship with her mother. She blamed all of what she was willing to accept as negative characteristics that she had as coming from her mother.
Στα 16 της η Eliza Gilbert, που αργότερα υιοθέτησε το όνομα Lola Montez, είχε ήδη ένα θυελλώδες βιογραφικό. Παντρεύτηκε τον εραστή της μητέρας της, ένα Βρετανό αξιωματικό. Μεταγύρισε στην Ινδία ως Eliza James. Στο ταξίδι της επιστροφής στην Αγγλία, απάτησε το σύζυγό της και χώρισε λόγω μοιχείας. Στα 21 της έφτασε σε ένα κρίσιμο σημείο στη ζωή της, στη διάρκεια ενός ταξιδιού στην Ισπανία.
She became Lola Montez because she realized that in the wake of the divorce, being a woman who had been divorced for adultery, that she was socially dead, that she had no future. And so Eliza James died and Lola Montez was born and made up a complete biography for herself, which she varied at regular times to fit whatever new evidence had arisen.
All right, let's talk about Maria Dolores de Porres y Montez, known as Lola Montez.
Which Lola is that? The dancer? The seducer? The firebrand? The Bavarian countess who brought down a king?
How about the Lola Montez who could do whatever she wanted? You mean that one? Yes. I was and still am my own mistress.
Sin embargo, al adoptar la personalidad de una bailaora o una exótica bailarina española, pudo vivir un sinfín de aventuras y experiencias impensables para una mujer del siglo XIX. Y yo creo que de alguna manera el personaje de Lola Montez para ella fue una válvula de escape para poder ser una mujer libre, dueña de su destino y finalmente vivir la vida que ella quería vivir.
Για το κοινό, η Λόλα είναι η ιδανική ενσάρκωση της εξωτικής και σαγηνευτικής Ισπανίδας, αν και αυτή η επιτυχία δεν κρατάει πολύ.
That is the divorced Mrs. James.
What?
Όποτε αντιμετώπιζε ευαίσθητες καταστάσεις, η Λόλα στρεφόταν για βοήθεια σε άνδρες με επιρροή.
We must leave London.
At this time, Nicholas I of Russia was making a state visit to Berlin, and Lola was invited to give a performance. There was a major parade and review in the field south of Berlin that the Tsar and the King were to attend. Well, Lola later claimed that her horse had bolted, and it was inadvertent that she attempted to ride her horse into the imperial royal enclosure, and one of the gendarmes tried to stop her and grabbed at the reins of her horse, and Lola immediately with her riding crop struck him across the face.
Oh my God, mistress. Your number with the whip in Berlin is even known here in America. An entire regiment fled. How nice.
You're exaggerating. But as you can see, I'm a woman who can defend herself. Yes, the whip made me famous. But that wasn't the problem.
She had trouble with authority at all levels, yes. Lola was taking on a role that was completely untypical for a woman of her time.
Το να χαστουκίσει έναν άνδρα δημόσια και ακόμα χειρότερα έναν αξιωματικό ήταν εξωφρενική πράξη για μια γυναίκα. Έπρεπε να υπάρξουν συνέπειες.
Madam, there's a court order for you.
I am accused of physical assault? After that coarse boor insulted me for no reason? Never! I will never appear before the court!
Whenever authority stood in her way, she had no problem attempting to seduce authority and was frequently successful in charming authority. But when she couldn't charm authority, then she would resort to whatever means, including violence, that she thought would affect her purpose.
The charge of contempt of court was a more serious offense. But it was then dismissed due to instructions from a higher power.
Your expulsion from Prussia also came from a higher power, and this was not the only time that you were expelled from a country. No. But that is completely irrelevant for our play. We don't need a protagonist who consistently disappears from the stage. We need something different. Something romantic.
Her goal was to meet Franz Liszt, who at that time was unique in Western Europe in his acclaim that he was receiving. He really was the first great European superstar. And subsequently, Liszt and Lola were staying at the same hotel in Dresden.
Lola Montez tuvo una larga lista de amantes y entre ellos destaca uno que fue el compositor Franz Liszt. Fue una relación breve, tormentosa, azarosa, pero Liszt, tras cortar con ella, lo que sí que le ofrece es una carta de recomendación para sus amigos de París.
My dear friend, I recommend Miss Lola Montez as your dancer. She is always fresh, always vivid, and always very creative. She really is a poet, the genie of grace and love. Your sincere friend, Franz Liszt.
Ο ευαίσθητος και όμορφος καλλιτέχνης Franz Liszt είναι ένας από τους πιο πολυπόθητους άνδρες στην Ευρώπη. Ο Liszt έχει πολλές ερωτικές σχέσεις. Και αυτή η μούσα είναι πολύ απαιτητική για τον πιανίστα. Αποφασίζει να την αφήσει, παίρνοντας όμως πρώτα τα απαραίτητα μέτρα.
Take this.
Franz!
That will be enough to cover the expenses.
Franz, let me out!
And please, open the door in 12 hours. The lady will be more calmed by then.
Franz, open the door, Franz! Franz, let me out! Damn it! Franz!
Listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me! After all, I finally got my recommendation letter. And Franz Liszt said a lot of good things about me in that letter.
I'm not afraid of you. But before you shoot me, let me backtrack. Have a nice life.
We have not finished, Mr.
Where? Charles Ware.
We have not finished, Mr. Ware.
Gracias a esta carta de recomendación, cuando Lola Montez llega a París, lo que se encuentra es que tiene la puerta abierta a todo el círculo de la bohemia parisina, que incluye a personajes de la talla de Honoré de Balzac, de Dumas y de, por ejemplo, la propia George Sand. Yo creo que fue una de las etapas más felices de su vida, porque en París ella encuentra una capital donde puede ser libre, es una ciudad de libertad para ella y donde además vive, para mí, una de las historias de amor más auténticas. Ella se enamora y además parece ser que de manera seria, según ella fue el amor de su vida, de un joven muy apuesto llamado Henri Dujarier, que fue el copropietario de la Presse, uno de los periódicos más importantes parisinos y de alguna manera también un empresario de éxito.
Η Λόλα είναι μέλος της παρισινής κοινωνίας και αξιοθαύμαστη, εξωτική καλονή, στο πλάι ενός σημαντικού άνδρα. Αυτή η ευτυχία γεννά τον φθόνο των άλλων και ο Ντιζαριέ πρέπει να υπερασπιστεί την τιμή του σε μονομαχία.
My dear Lola, when you read this, I'll be fighting with pistols. That's why I wanted to be alone last night. And I didn't see you this morning. I needed to rest and avoid having emotions, which I would have felt this morning upon seeing you. At 10 o'clock, it'll all be over, and I'll come to you and embrace you, unless... A thousand tender caresses, my dear Lola, my good little wife, whom I love and who will always be in my thoughts.
It's a wonderful romantic story. You fall in love with a young woman, with a dynamic young financier and newspaper editor, and then he's struck down in the prime of life in a duel. It's romantic. And she may have believed he was the love of her life.
Ella, tras la muerte de Dujarier, se encuentra en una situación delicada. Por una parte, ya no tiene el apoyo de la Presse, que es el periódico que la ayudaba, ya no tiene el apoyo económico de Dujarier y se encuentra que los amigos, la camarilla de amigos de Dujarier, de alguna manera la señala y la está marcando como una viuda negra.
I loved that man. But I couldn't stay in Paris.
Y ella de repente, se encuentra con el corazón destrozado y otra vez tiene que reinventarse y quiere de alguna manera empezar una nueva vida, ¿no?
Η Λόλα περιφέρεται άσκοπα στην Ευρώπη για ένα χρόνο. Εξακολουθεί να προκαλεί σκάνδαλα. Ακόμα ψάχνει νέες ευκαιρίες για να δώσει παραστάσεις. Τελικά, θέλει να βρει την ευτυχία στη Βιέννη. Ωστόσο, είναι μακρύ το ταξίδι μέχρι εκεί.
es cuando ella decide primero detenerse en Múnich porque sabe que en la fiesta de la cerveza se va a encontrar con caballeros, con gente, que ella puede hacer de alguna manera relaciones sociales, ¿no? Lo que nada hacía imaginar entonces es ese cambio, ¿no?, de itinerario, lo que iba a implicar en la historia. Si Lola Montez pasa a la historia, sobre todo va a ser por su relación de 2 años como amante del rey Luis I de Baviera.
Your Majesty, Miss Montez is here.
Your Majesty, I have been allowed to dance everywhere except for you here in Munich. Your Majesty is well known for your appreciation of art, and therefore I ask Your Majesty to support a Spanish dancer so she can perform her art here in Munich.
And what do you want to perform for us?
Your Majesty, I dance the fandango and bolero.
Very well. I will instruct Baron von Fries, the director of our Royal Court Theatre, to let you perform during the intervals. Go and report to him.
Your Majesty enjoys the reputation of being a supporter of the arts, and therefore it would be good if Your Majesty could instruct the director Fries to issue me an appropriate fee for my performance.
And what would be an appropriate fee per performance, most gracious one?
Half of the net earnings. I would be very grateful to Your Majesty.
You seem to be very demanding. Well, all right. Sounds very good.
I am also worth it, Your Majesty.
He was 60 at the time Lola arrived, and mentally he was still very much erotically involved. And physically, possibly too, but he saw 60 as a breaking point in life. That one is a vigorous man up to age 60. After age 60, it's all downhill.
Dear Miss Montez, I don't wish to offend you with my questions, but if I'm not mistaken, I believe that the first meeting between you and the king was, shall we say, somewhat permissive?
Do you mean this?
What are you planning on doing?
The story that at the first interview, which is most assuredly not true, she went to the king's desk, took a pair of scissors, and immediately cut her bodice down the front to demonstrate to the king that it's all real, Ludwig.
My dear Mr. Ware, do you think that it was really like that? Ludwig was a real king, a man with manners. He always treated me with respect. And moreover, how could I have escaped from the residence? I get credit for a lot of things. And therefore, it is and will be a nice invented story. It's pure fantasy.
You're completely right, Miss Montez. Let's drink. To all the invented truths.
And to great collaboration, Mr. Ware.
He was depressed because he felt he would never be loved again. And Lola gave him a ready excuse to deny what he was afraid of. And he said, he wrote to one of his friends, "I'm like a volcano that was dormant and has suddenly erupted."
Ο Λουδοβίκος θαυμάζει την ομορφιά στις γυναίκες. Επίσης, ξεκαθαρίζει στη θηρεσία όταν την παντρεύεται ότι δεν θα μπορούσε να ανθίσει η καλλιτεχνική του ψυχή χωρίς πληθώρα ομορφιάς. Ο γυναικάς βασιλιάς έχει πολλές ερωμένες πριν συναντήσει τη Λόλα Μοντέζ. Αλλά όλα θα είναι διαφορετικά με αυτήν τη νεαρή γυναίκα. Τον συγκινεί βαθιά η χάρη της χορεύτριας. Αυτό δεν περνάει απαρατήρητο από την αυλή του και τη Βαβαρία.
After her dance at the theater, he immediately ordered Stieler to paint her for the Gallery of Beauties, the Schönheitsgalerie. And he wanted to be there for all the sittings.
Your Majesty.
Your Majesty.
My esteemed Stieler, this portrait must be a masterpiece. She is a beautiful, young, proud Spaniard, and that must be evident in this painting. Where are the flowers? The flowers for her hair. Miss Montez, lift your head a bit more. Don't forget the flowers. I'll come back tomorrow.
During one of the sittings with Stieler, he inquired, "Will you be leaving us here in Munich?" And Lola supposedly said, "No puedo dejar Munich." I can't leave Munich, she said, because there's someone here very dear to me. And that did it for Ludwig, I think. I think Ludwig said, "She loves me!"
Ο βασιλιάς όλη του τη ζωή λάτρευε την Ισπανία, αν και δεν είχε πάει ποτέ. Και η Λόλα είναι η τέλεια ενσάρκωση της επιθυμίας του για την Ισπανία. Ο Λουδοβίκος θεωρεί τον εαυτό του καλλιτέχνη βασιλιά, με τις όμορφες γυναίκες να είναι η πηγή της έμπνευσής του. Απαθανατίζει 38 γυναίκες όλων των κοινωνικών τάξεων στην πινακοθήκη των Καλονών στο παλάτι Νίμφενμπουργκ.
She arrived in October. By early November, he had already granted her an annual salary. She was on salary, and I think it was in early November that he wrote a codicil to his will, leaving her a large sum of money and the most recent portrait of him that had been painted. So within a month, Ludwig was totally taken.
I can rely on the king's word. Can't I?
I will always take care of you.
Yo creo que para el rey es un flechazo a primera vista y yo creo que ella encuentra en el rey al padre que nunca tuvo. Digo nunca tuvo porque lo perdió con 2 años de edad. Ella fue huérfana. Entonces yo creo que para ella es una relación más paternal que sexual. Sin duda Lola no se portó bien con el rey Luis I de Baviera.
Your Majesty,
My dear Louis, your countrymen are real barbarians. I'm shunned everywhere I go. I go for a walk with my dog Turk, and they cross to the other side of the street. I go to the theater, and they change seats. No place lets me in. Not museums, balls, banquets. Louis, I can't take this any longer.
My dear Lolita, I will make you a countess. And I am sure that after that, they will accept you and see the wonderful person that you are.
And later on, he thought better of it. And there's a note that Ludwig made that he attempted to convince Lola that maybe she should come into a lower rank of nobility, and that countess was a bit much. And he made a note, Lola insists on being a countess. No discussion. So he was trapped.
Η βασιλική υπόσχεση είναι ιερή, παρόλο που εγείρει περισσότερες αντιρρήσεις από τη μεριά της κυβέρνησης και των επικόων, ενάντια στην επιρροή της Λόλα στη μοναρχία. Από τον άμβονα των εκκλησιών του μονάχου κηρύσσουν ενάντια σε αυτό το αμαρτωλό ειδήλιο. Οι Βαβαροί είναι έξαλλοι.
Everyone, not only in Bavaria, but also in Western Europe, saw this as a turning point in Bavarian politics. And that, as a consequence, affected the public perception of who she was and what kind of influence she had on Ludwig.
Αλλά η Λόλα δεν μηχανογραφεί απλώς.
He looked dreadful, but that didn't bother me. I visited him every day through a secret passage.
I should be left alone.
But Your Majesty, will you still want to see your Lolita?
Lola, I know I look awful. Nobody wants to see me, not even the Queen.
Well, they didn't want me to see you, but I will take care of you.
My dear Lolita, you are such a wonderful person, even though my subjects in Munich speak ill of you.
I will visit you every day, regardless of what your subjects say about your Lolita. While I was taking care of Ludwig, the people of Munich were working on banishing me. They wanted me gone, although I'd done nothing to them. Ludwig became another person thanks to me. His politics also became more progressive because of me.
Ah, Miss Montez, you took away their beloved and cherished great king. That's why they're so angry. You should have adapted better. Instead, you caused chaos and scandals, for all I know.
Chaos. Scandals. They were angry because I'm a woman. Women, my dear Mr. Ware, are never forgiven, especially if they live the way they want. Ludwig had accepted that, but his subjects in Munich and those Jesuits didn't.
Eine eigene Stimme der Frau war in diesem System nicht vorgesehen. Von daher sind das selbstständige Auftreten als alleinstehende Frau, wie das Lola Montez tut, ihr Verhalten, sich zu wehren, laut zu sein, Skandale zu verursachen, zu rauchen, waren natürlich alle im Frauenbild des 19. Jahrhunderts nicht vorgesehen. Und haben sie offensichtlich für die bayerische Gesellschaft unter anderem auch untragbar gemacht.
Don't look.
Η Λόλα γνωρίζει τις αδυναμίες του Λουδοβίκου και ξέρει πώς να τον κρατήσει.
Now you may. Surprise. You will always have a part of me.
Η Λόλα θέλει να γίνει η επίσημη ερωμένη του βασιλιά. Κάτι φιλόδοξο και αδύνατο, εφόσον ο Λουδοβίκος δεν μοιράζεται με κανέναν την εξουσία του. Στις Βερσαλίες πριν από 100 χρόνια υπήρχαν ερωμένες που ασκούσαν πολιτική επιρροή. Αλλά στη μεγαλοαστική Βαβαρία του 19ου αιώνα αυτό είναι αδιανόητο.
Ludwigs frühere außereheliche Beziehungen waren auf das Private bezogen. Sie sind nicht öffentlich aufgetreten und nicht mit dem König gemeinsam aufgetreten. Und solange es so gewesen ist, konnte die Gesellschaft ganz gut damit leben. Und solange es so gewesen ist, hat auch Königin Therese notgedrungen diese immer wieder auftretende Situation akzeptiert. Sie hat erst bei Lola Montez, dann auch ihrerseits Instrumentarien der Königin benutzt, um sichtbar zu machen, dass es hier um eine familiäre Krise sich dreht. Also sie hat beispielsweise die Anhänger von Lola Montez nicht mehr ins Gespräch eingebunden bei Hof. Sie hat sich also systematisch distanziert von denen, die bei Lola Montez verkehrt sind. Das heißt, jeder musste sich sehr genau überlegen, ob er zu Lola Montez geht, weil er dann den Kontakt zur Königin verliert.
Η Λόλα φέρει επίσημα τον τίτλο της κόμισσας του Λάνσφελντ.
His Majesty is here.
Αλλά ένας τίτλος από μόνος του δεν έχει αξία στη βαβαρική αριστοκρατία.
Ludwig, nobody has come. No one, no one, no one! They have all canceled. Your subjects in Munich will never accept me. They're doing everything to scare me away. Can't you see? They're awful, and they refuse to honor a countess and have no shame disrespecting their king.
Lolita.
Louise, when will Queen Teresa agree to see me?
Lola, you must understand that this is not so easy for Teresa. Have some patience, please.
But you are the king. She cannot refuse your request.
All right, she will see you.
Lola Montez hat sicherlich noch einmal besonders deutlich gemacht, dass es in einem verfassungsmäßigen Staat niemanden geben kann, der völlig quer zu den Hierarchien agiert, der über die verfassungsmäßigen Organe hinaus, über die hohe Beamtenschaft, auch über die Hofgesellschaft hinaus, einen Einfluss auf den Monarchen gewinnt, der ihn unkalkulierbar macht.
Όπως παντού στην Ευρώπη, έτσι και η βαβαρική μεσαία τάξη απαιτεί να έχει φωνή στην πολιτική. Στο Μόναχο, ο κόσμος βγαίνει στους δρόμους. Ο θυμός του στρέφεται κυρίως ενάντια στη Λόλα και απαιτεί να φύγει. Η χορεύτρια προστατεύεται από τη δική της φρουρά, φοιτητών. Τους αποκαλούν κοροϊδευτικά άνδρες της Λόλα. Κυκλοφορούν φήμες ότι γίνονται μυστικά όργια στο παλάτι της Λόλα. Ο βασιλιάς Λουδοβίκος μοιάζει με καταρακωμένο εξαπατημένο άνδρα.
Lola Montez, God's still on our side. You call people scoundrels, and you yourself are the biggest scoundrel. You're poisoning the peace and order, tradition and good manners. You're a devil with no horns nor tail, but you possess all of the devil's tricks. Yes, and this is for you.
Ich glaube, dass Ludwig das lange nicht so eingeschätzt hat, dass es tatsächlich dramatisch werden kann.
The evidence is that someone in January of 1847 offered Lola a very large bribe to leave Bavaria and never come back because the conservative element saw that she was a malign influence on the king and that she was undermining not only their position but also his position as king.
They even tried bribery.
No.
Someone offered me 50,000 florins per year to...
What?
Leave Bavaria. For the rest of my life.
Oh, my God. You were worth that much? Miss Montez, why didn't you just take the money? Everyone would have been relieved. and it would have been so much easier for you. However, I have to say, my goodness, the fall of a king. What a spectacle.
You men think that money controls everything. But I'm not that cheap. I perhaps don't have the most refined manners, but disappear for doing nothing wrong? Never. I was firmly set on staying in Munich. Because poor Ludwig needed my support. They all conspired against me. The aristocracy, the Jesuits, the citizens, everyone. And I didn't even know what was going to happen.
The crowd gathered, and it became obvious that the Barerstrasse house was going to be stormed, that the crowd was coming in over the back wall. And Lola's reaction, this is the 11th of February, 1848, Lola's reaction was to go out into the courtyard, as she had in March of the previous year, and ridicule the mob and challenge them. The story is that she pounded her breast and said, here's where you should be throwing your stones. You missed. Can't you throw any better than that?
Countess, you must leave Munich. It's extremely dangerous for you to be here. I'll hold the fort while I can.
I won't be driven out of my palace by a rabble of noisy scoundrels. What? What's going on?
Countess, they're storming the palace.
Nonsense. They wouldn't dare, and I can handle them.
This would be temporary until everyone calms down. Your life's in danger.
Who says that? You? I don't take orders from you.
That is an order from the highest office.
No! Stop it! Let go of me! No! Put me down! Let go of me! Now! They chased me out of the country like a criminal. The police escorted my carriage to the Swiss border. But that wasn't an order from Ludwig. And if it was, he didn't do it willingly. They put pressure on him.
Το επόμενο βράδυ ο βασιλιάς αναγκάζεται να δράσει.
Your Majesty? Your Majesty, the Duchess of Leuchtenberg wants to talk to you. She says that it's urgent. She wants to wait until Your Majesty agrees to see her.
In the middle of the night? Take her into the reception room and tell her that I'm coming.
Τον περιμένει η αδελφή και ο πρωθυπουργός του.
Berks, you're also here? So you've all conspired against me? You come in the middle of the night.
Ludwig, listen. The situation is much too serious to talk about conspiracy. You must come to your senses.
Ο Λουδοβίκος αρνείται να πιστέψει πόσο σοβαρές είναι οι φιλελεύθερες, δημοκρατικές και εθνικές δυνάμεις στη Βαβαρία. Κάποιοι ζητούν συμμετοχή στη λήψη αποφάσεων και δημοκρατικές εκλογές. Κάποιοι θέλουν συνταγματική μοναρχία ή ακόμα και την κατάργησή της. Όλοι επιμένουν να φύγει η Λόλα άμεσα και οριστικά από τη χώρα. Ο Λουδοβίκος πρέπει να δεχτεί για να σώσει τη μοναρχία.
He said, that's not why I became king. That's not the king I am. And he said, no one loves me here anymore. They just want me as a tool. And tragically, one of the main motivations was that he realized as king, it would be extremely difficult for him to see Lola again. If he abdicated, he could go and live with Lola for a while. And he could see her again. And abdication would be the means of reuniting him with Lola.
My dearest Lolita, to whom I'm so strongly attached, in this hour I have abdicated voluntarily, without having anyone suggest such a thing. Without the knowledge of the Council of Ministers, I've abdicated in the presence of the princes of my house. My son Maximilian fell to his knees and asked for my blessing. the five of us cried together. My plan is to go to Switzerland in April, to fall into your arms and live there with you. I feel well today. Since I made my declaration of abdication, I started to feel happy again. If he is with his Lolita then, he'll be happy. Your faithful, Louis.
Ο Λουδοβίκος δεν ήξερε ότι η Λόλα είχε ήδη γνωρίσει άλλους άνδρες στην Ελβετία. Ο Λουδοβίκος επιμένει στο όνειρό του.
It broke his heart. He tried multiple times to see Lola again and made detailed plans to meet Lola, which at the very last moment he decided to call off because it was simply too dangerous to the dynasty.
Ακόμα και η οικογένεια στρέφεται ενάντια στο Λουδοβίκο. Η κυβέρνηση απειλεί να μειώσει τα οικονομικά του προνόμια αν επιμείνει να δει τη Λόλα.
Your Majesty, the carriage is ready.
Ο Λουδοβίκος συνειδητοποιεί ότι δεν μπορεί να κάνει μια νέα ζωή ως ιδιώτης.
I am not a majesty. Not anymore.
He was deeply troubled, but then slowly his eyes became open to the fact that Lola had lied to him every step of the way. Not only had he been duped as a man, but he had, under totally false pretenses, given up his crown.
Se arrepiente de cómo ha tratado al rey Luis I de Baviera, se arrepiente quizás de esta vida, entre comillas, pecaminosa que ha llevado.
The best day of my life was when Ludwig took my hand in front of the assembled royal household and in front of everyone said, "Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to my best friend." That was the biggest compliment of my life, and I'll always think highly of Ludwig for that.
And his money? You also thought highly of him because of it.
You are nasty and unfair, Mr. Ware.
I'm just asking you, Miss Montez. He supported you financially for a long time, and the whole world knew that you were not entirely innocent regarding his abdication.
There were the circumstances. The Jesuits, the people of Munich who rejected me and my way of living. I didn't want him to abdicate. He was the most honorable man I have ever met, and
you took advantage of that. You weren't always honest with him.
In my own way. He was more than just a king to me. He was what I never had. A father. Ludwig was educated, knowledgeable, kind, and he treated me that way.
I think your inner child took over your life. But instead of keeping him as a paternal friend, you ended up dismissing him. How shall I say it? Because of your nature.
When one is really happy, one might not notice that something wonderful can suddenly change. I know that now. I'm not a child anymore. I have learned my lesson, Mr. Ware.
Yo creo que era una mujer realmente independiente y pagó un alto precio por esa independencia.
Στον παλιό κόσμο δεν υπήρχε χώρος για τη Lola Montez.
Sell the remaining furniture and send me the money to New York. And this is for you, to remember me by.
πρέπει να επαναπροσδιορίσει την ταυτότητά της, στο νέο κόσμο θέλει να γλιτώσει επιτέλους από τους κανόνες της Ευρώπης και να είναι ελεύθερη.
It doesn't matter if this is true or purely fictional. It sounds so right. You tell everything so well that it sounds like it's true.
Shall I dance for you, Charles?
Να μη φοβάσαι τον εαυτό σου και να έχεις αρκετή αυτοπεποίθηση στο μυαλό σου, λέει η Λόλα στη βιογραφία της. Ως γυναίκα με θέληση, θέλει να μπορεί να αγνοεί τους κοινωνικούς φραγμούς και είχε το θάρρος να μετατρέψει όλον τον κόσμο σε μία σκηνή.
That is Lola Montez.
Lola writes a bestseller in the United States about the art of female seduction. Charles Ware's play Lola Montez in Bavaria is a big success on Broadway. Lola dies in New York at the age of 39 years old. Ludwig I of Bavaria never fell in love again.
Αφήγηση Κώστας Σεραφιμίδης. Η τεχνική επεξεργασία έγινε στα στούντιος της Video Press. Copyright για την R3 2019.